Hello everyone. Returning today to the subject of Skillcraft retractable ballpoint pens because I simply cannot get enough. If you didn't watch my previous video or videos on the subject and are unfamiliar with the US government Skillcraft pens, here is a semi-vintage example. Skillcraft on the clip with the Skillcraft emblem. Very unassuming looking pen, but legendary. If you know, you know. I covered this in some detail on the history of the pen, so I won't go into too much of that today, but found some interesting pens in that line that I wanted to share today. So this is kind of the standard, what the Skillcraft pen looks like, manufactured on the part of National Industries for the Blind as part of a government contract that stipulates, requires the hiring and utilization of blind or visually impaired workers, businesses that hire the blind. So Skillcraft created as a part of that endeavor. 1968 when the Skillcraft pen first started being made, but a similar pen was made prior to that. Here we have a more modern, when you buy a newly made, because these are still manufactured, when you buy a newly manufactured Skillcraft retractable pen, you'll likely get something that looks like this. Notice the difference in the band in the middle. Same dimensions, uses the same insert, which, by the way, let's take a look at that. It's part of what makes the pen so great. Everything's plastic in the body, but it's a brass ballpoint cartridge. Here's another currently manufactured, I believe, still another kind of iteration of that pen made with recycled materials. Still uses the exact same cartridge, brass cartridge, writes the same dimensions and everything. And then also manufactured in blue, and here we see a currently made blue. Okay, but let's look at a couple of other interesting finds. Look at this. Skillcraft, this one has no retractable. It's not, no pusher, no knock at the top. It is a stick ballpoint and no cap here, and I've never found a variety with a cap, so I don't know if it ever had one or if it was just a stick pen with no cap made to be put in a holder of some sort and just be ready to use without a cap. Again, I've come across several of these in black and in blue. We'll look at it in a minute, but never a cap. So the insert is the same brass. That one's vintage. I wonder if this one still writes. We'll try it in a minute here. Actually, let's try it right now. No, that one I haven't swapped out the insert. Looks like it would be the exact same insert. Okay, let's look at this. Same dimensions. Also a US government pen, a retractable ballpoint. Brass insert. Medium US government. Oh, I did something wrong here in reassembling it. Or maybe it's just stuck. Okay, well, I'll have to fix that later. Notice no Skillcraft. And instead, Ballerina. You see that? A little internet research tells me that Ballerina was making the US government pens prior to the Skillcraft contract. And in fact, there was a legal battle between Ballerina Pens of Brooklyn and then the newly created Skillcraft, excuse me, making ballpoint pens out of, I believe, South Carolina. But the government contract yanked out from under Ballerina pens. Ballerina, a Brooklyn outfit, founded by two brothers of a Polish immigrant family. Interesting story there, but the U.S. government took the contract from Ballerina, gave it to Skillcraft and National Industries for the Blind, who have been making the pens ever since. Can't find out a whole lot about Ballerina, but you sure find a lot of U.S. government pens made by them. Here's another one in the style of the black one we just looked at from Skillcraft. Same length, uses the same type of insert. It's interesting because the inserts designed for the Skillcraft pens fit in the Ballerina pens, and I've done some swapping out to show that. So they were working from the same blueprint, I guess. Seems a little shady maybe how that went down. But this one, by the way, I actually swapped out an insert that was made for a Bic click. So it doesn't, it's not the right diameter on the tip, so it doesn't protrude all the way, and therefore doesn't cinch quite closed here. But here it is with the proper insert in it. It's actually with a Skillcraft. I believe I swapped it out for a Skillcraft in blue. Threads are a little bit sticky on this. Yeah, that's a new brass insert. So Ballerina making these pens until the government yanked their contract. And not just Ballerina, this one says Malard. So Malard Pencil Company. I guess we're making pens as well. Same dimensions, same everything. You wouldn't be able to distinguish a difference between these two pens with this Malard. Hard time seeing that, but that also says U.S. government on it. You might have to trust me there. You can maybe see that. So another company maybe making them at the same time as Skillcraft. Hard to say. But same pen. 3 different manufacturers. Now only one. Still maintains a government contract. Skillcraft. Not overly impressed with the blue ink in the blue Skillcraft pens. That one doesn't work, we determined. Here's the Ballerina. No surprise that it's working because it has a Skillcraft insert in it, so I don't have any of the original Ballerina inserts that are still working. And in fact, the ones that were in the Ballerina stick pens were a plastic insert, at least the ones I've found. So if they ever had brass inserts, I don't have any that are like that in terms of the stick pens. Ballerina retractable. Pretend this is retractable. This one's the Ballerina with a Bic blue. And let's see, Malard. We'll try the Malard. Again, I think this has a Skillcraft insert in it, so no surprise it writes just like the Skillcraft. Any of these, I would say, is a really neat pen. Obviously, I like the retractables better. These are the ones that are stick pens without a cap. Kind of not useful as a carry around type of pen. But any of these, U.S. government, once I get this one repaired, for some reason it's not retracting right. Maybe it needs cleaned out inside. But great pens. I still love the U.S. government Skillcraft pen. Still would be an excellent choice for an everyday carry. Just a little bit today about the sordid history of acquisitions and government contracts and lawsuits. to end up where we are today with Skillcraft and National Industries for the Blind making the pens for the U.S. government and for collectors and pen enthusiasts like myself. Thanks for watching this pen video, and I hope to see you here again next time.